I'm Michelle Guiliano, and I am coming to you live, if you can believe it, from the airport. I have been in Tenerife, in Spain. This is an island in the Atlantic, owned by Spain. It is incredibly gorgeous and relaxing, and it is my commitment to you to come live on Tuesdays as part of Life Design, which is our topic today. I'm going to talk with you a little bit about life design and where it goes right and where it goes wrong, and whether or not you are looking at being a global nomad, whether or not you are looking at your life, if you like the van culture and getting out there, or finding a way for yourself to not only create a life that allows you to live more of what you love, getting, in my case, to the beach, getting out there and where you want to go. This is not the most inspiring wall, but it is the quietest place that I could find in this airport right now. But I wanted you to think a little bit about how it is you're going to pack in all of that you want to achieve in your life and wherever it is you're going to be. So one of the stories that I wanted to share as we go through sort of 5 bullets on life design is, number one, consider a little bit about your desired lifestyle and what you want to include more of and how that overlays or overlaps into your work. Right? When we are thinking about life design, in my case, like I said, it's getting into the sea. A volcanic island is just heaven. It's a great place to ground and earth and do creative work. And I'll never forget this one time that Denise and I had taken off on a creativity retreat to go and do some writing. And we were staying in a pretty nice hotel that had been having reliable Wi-Fi the entire time we were there. And when we do these creativity retreats, we try really hard not to have work commitments. But in this case, we had about 40 people who were expecting to see us live. And for whatever reason, the entire neighborhood block fell down. By that I mean not war of falling, but falling in the Wi-Fi sense. The Wi-Fi that had been working optimally all week was now out. And so I was thinking about this tech challenge that we had run into, because in that case we had done perfect life design, perfect business design. We were there in order to achieve targets for our goals and our writing and to meet our clients live, and all of a sudden the tech wasn't working. And so we have really learned the hard way to check our tech, to have backup systems and methods, to find even bare walls in airports with very few people in order to keep our commitment and go live on Tuesdays at 4. So I think about that desired lifestyle because it helps you build your calendar and set up a rhythm for yourself that is sustainable and practical and pragmatic. And that reminds me a little bit of Dev Rivers, who you're going to get to know closer in this group, in the Coach Within community. She's our community leader. She's our team for Integrity Works and helping us get the message out about the integrity system. But she's all about permaculture and permaculture design. And that layers into spaces and life design and how you design your spaces for optimizing life design and how you make that all sustainable and resilient to change or strife or challenges, and how we create cycles, design cycles. And I think one of the reasons why this topic is coming to you is because we didn't get everything right? We went away in order to go and do some creativity also on this trip. And I think it brought up for me that permaculture mindset of design, live, learn, and iterate, which is also an entrepreneur's sort of approach to testing and trying and iterating, right? How we do the living part and how we do the learning part. And so right now I'm having some key learning. I'm thinking about, okay, well, what are my values in this case where I'm on a travel day? I've got to make sure to keep my commitment to the Coach Within community that we are building and starting to cherish. So I want to invite you to start playing along. For example, engage in this post right now. If you end up watching it on the replay, go ahead and click #replay or write that below in this post. If you're with us live, go on ahead and tell us, introduce yourself a little bit, or tell us about how it is you've been incorporating life design in terms of how you set or establish new priorities for your work and your business. So without delay, I want to give you these 5 pointers. The first step is really understand what you want to get out of your life and out of your life design. The second step is to think a little bit about the mental and emotional breaks and how you're going to build that into the rhythm that is optimal for you. So, and the third one is that tech example, right? When we needed to gather these 40 people on tech that was now no longer existent, I will forever be grateful for having chosen number one, in this case, a high quality hotel. They did have backup generators, but they did not burst on right away. What in this case saved us was a bartender, because of course I had found a nice corner in the bar, and the bartender put his phone down in front of me and said, "Here, use my hotspot." So he got a nice tip that day, and I was able to be live with those 40 people who thankfully we'd already put them in breakout rooms for their activity, and the breakout rooms mercifully did not drop just because my Wi-Fi dropped. So I was able to get right back into that call and reconnect. So the fourth step that I want you to think about is a little bit about how important it is to get buy-in from your family, friends, or at work, your stakeholders, right? We want you to get that buy-in with your stakeholders because those you love are going to help you live this life design, right? And when you have your accountability partners, including friends and family, they help make it possible. Denise has a wonderful example where she took almost an hour-long call with her children in Disneyland with a client. And she had to have a conversation with her kids because, of course, her kids wanted to get back into the park, and they were yanking on mommy's skirt and saying, "Mom, come on." And so she pulled them aside and said, "Well, girls, would you rather have a nanny and a mom who has to report into an office? Or is it okay that I take an hour call for a client in the middle of Disneyland knowing that we can be here this week and enjoy this experience?" And so she was able to onboard her own children at a very young age to this life design and some of the gifts that it can give, and award her because she had a company that was built around and with great understanding about life design. The last top tip is really dream big. It takes tremendous personal motivation, discipline, and resilience to keep your commitments to yourself and your stakeholders when you are trying to work remotely or live in a different way, or tackle more of those bucket list dreams and agendas and build that in with your work and with your life. You don't need to be a business owner in order to be thinking about life design, right? We can do it with our employees, or with our employee status and with our employers. We can ask for flexible working conditions. We can ask to work remotely on that assignment or that project that may be overlapping. We can ask for the things that we need in order to live more optimally and realize more of our goals or dreams. We can say yes to something that's going to allow more travel if we like that, and we can say no or find new ways to be a valuable researcher or contributor to your team or organization when you really want more staycations in your life and in your life design. All right, so those 5 tips are: really know what you want to get out of your life and your life design. Consider it. Think about when and how you're going to get the emotional and mental breaks that you need. Entrepreneurs, we have to build this into our time schedule. Otherwise, we iterate and innovate, and it can cost us some of our greatest hopes and dreams. So onboarding your team and getting involved and getting them involved in your goals and dreams. Considering your tech is that third step. How am I going to make it happen? Right now I travel with my own hotspots, of course, and I consider the small tripods, the lights behind the scenes. In this case, I've really got to rush to my gate in just a minute, and so I'm just using my phone, and I hope that that is fine for you, that I keep the commitment and come live very authentically, very raw. Get the buy-in from your stakeholders, because there's nothing like having your own family and your own friends onboarded with how you're living, and then dream that biggest possible dream for your life design and plan it. Put it on the calendar. When we put things on the calendar, we tend to live them and realize those dreams. Apart from like Manhattan Island, Long Island, Staten Island, and these kinds of islands, this is really only my 4th island. Okay. Maybe Edinburgh's on an island. I mean, there are some exceptions, but in terms of island culture and island living, this is something I'm going to definitely spend more time doing and engaging with and feeling that volcanic energy and that sea against my skin, and taking time to really stretch out my thinking, to breathe longer and deeper, to swim further and wider, to enjoy the waves. And I really wish that for everybody who wishes that in their life design. So please jot your comments below, engage with this post, tell us what do you do to restore, rejuvenate, recreate, re-energize. What do you do, or how do you process life, or how do you take a vacation differently? How do you go about living your life optimally? Who's on board with your team? These are all just ideas. You can, of course, introduce yourself to the group. We welcome your interaction and engagement, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much.